Hello again. I know y'all are going to get tired of seeing me, so I'm going to get somebody else to do some other videos. But for right now, you get me. And today, you also get Buster. And what I want to show you is what we're looking for in a Poodle certification groom. Now, Buster's not one that I would necessarily use for certification. He's about 13. He's arthritic, he's never had good hair, and his conformation's terrible. But for my purposes today, he's gonna work just fine. If I can get the loop out of my face. He had a bath yesterday and was totally fluffed. So quite obviously this is not the fluff that we want to see, but we're gonna start off with prep work. What I want to see in your prep work, if I can find a brush, yeah, this one will work, is that the dog is completely fluffed and well brushed out. Actually, he held up pretty well. And that you used a shampoo that's appropriate for the coat. Now, how can I tell that? Because a dog with a softer coat is going to stand up well. A dog with a wiry coat is going to have the proper texture, obviously, to begin with. But if you use a shampoo with too much conditioner, that's going to soften it and it's going to fall. If you've chosen the right shampoo and spray products or conditioner products, that hurts, then the dog's coat will reflect that because it will have a better fluff, it will hold better, it will stay when you put it somewhere. We want to look at your drying technique. That the dog is basically as straight as it can be and fluffed the right way. Now, how is that done? It can be done completely with a force dryer. You can use a stand dryer. You can use a combination. You can use a hand dryer. You can air dry the dog as long as the dog looks good when you get it on your table. But proper drying technique for a poodle is the way I was taught and the way I teach everybody. To go from, let me get this little tangle out of his ear where he ate his breakfast because he's boarding with me this weekend. There we go, we got the food out. It's going to be to go from feet up on legs. All legs go up and out. When you are brushing, if you're going to do a stretch dry, you fluff out. I use a flicking motion kind of sort of. I can also do this with my stand dryer or my force dryer with no problem. Oh man, it's okay. But we want that coat to be completely and totally straight as you can get it, obviously, just like you would for any poodle. And directional drying on a poodle is feet to shoulder, tail to head, head forward and up at the same time. It can get tricky on how to explain that, but when I do it with my force dryer, I take the nozzle off, put it at the skin, and sort of make a circular motion, and that puffs the hair up on the head, making it stand up. Ears, I was taught, go every way but down. In other words, if you're going to hold the ear and brush, you don't brush down because that's going to make them flat. You brush up, sideways, every way but down. As long as they're fluffy and straight, I don't care how you get there, but directional drying is critical on a poodle. It's critical on any dog, but on a poodle coat especially. And again, up, forward, forward, head up and forward, ears out. Just to get a fluffy dog. Now this dog has a really, really, really soft, really, really, really thin coat. And he looks pretty doggone good right now, actually. I'm actually pretty impressed with his old self. Especially to have sat overnight, because he had a bath about this time yesterday morning. And that's 24 hours. He looks pretty doggone good. A little crumpled from sitting in a kennel, but I can fix that right now. So we're going to look for your coat prep, make sure there are no knots like I just found in his ear. Get them out before you get on video. Run the finest tooth comb you can through the dog before you get him on video. Make sure that they are completely fluffed, and then get me photos. I want photos before your video or close-ups on the video. And I'm going to show you what we want. Oh yeah, and tails, same as the head. What I want you to do when you get me up close video shots or photos is stack your dog as best your dog will stack. Not too shabby. Get me a side view from both sides. Get me an up close of the head from here. Turn your dog around this way. Get me a full front, head to front here. Pull the ears out of the way so I can see the neckline, because I'm going to be looking to see that this is positioned correctly for the dog. Did you know how to do that? And I'm going to tell you how I was taught to do that in a minute. But anyway, we're going to do this. We're going to do this shot. Repeat the same shot on the head. So if you got this side, get this side. I know, old man. From the rear, I want to see your tail band. I want to see under your tail. And I want to see the rear. It's really not that hard. Just make sure that you get a good close-up of it on video or a still shot, one of the two. I don't care which one, either one will be fine. Thirsty this morning. Anyway, that's what you need to do for me for those. For that. Now, we're also going to be looking, I'm going to need those same shots afterwards, but we're going to add a couple more for your after. For your after, I need to see your feet. I know, Buster. I want to see that you know where your lines go here for the type of foot that the dog has. Obviously, if the dog has a flat foot, you're going to want to raise it up or lower it a little bit to hide it a little bit. If the dog's got really pretty feet, get that line set right at the ankle bone so I can see. Remember, they call them poodle feet for a reason. If you do poodle toes, you will fail your certification. I had somebody present a video the other day and just the toes were shaved. So no, it goes all the way to the ankle. Remember that. And I want to see underneath and up close of the feet. You can only do one foot, that's fine. I just need to see that you know what you're doing. On your after, for your head, what I'm looking for is that you knew to get the hair from here around the ear so that it laid better. If the ear is set right, that your line is correct from your eye to your ear for your dog's ear set. If you have a dog with a high ear set, you want to leave a little fill here so that it hides that a little bit. You can blend it a little better. You can also cut the ear down a little bit on top, and that'll make the ear look like it sits right. If you have a dog with a really low ear set, you can actually leave hair on top of the head, some head hair to grow down into the ear is what I'm trying to say. And run your line where you want it to be, and you can make it look like it's right. That's what I want to see from you. If your dog's ear set is correct, it's going to be in line with the eye, and his is actually pretty good. So your line will go from corner of eye to top of ear. So if you remember that, and you have altered where you cut your ear in, it's the same line. You just pretend that this part of the ear line, or the eye line here, goes to where the ear is supposed to be. So does that make sense? I hope so. It's early on a Sunday morning. But anyway, I want to make sure that line is set correctly for the dog's ear set. Easy enough. That's an easy fix. Even if you're a pet groomer only and have never competed, you need to know that the line is from the corner of the eye to the top of the ear. And if you adjust the ear set, that line still goes to the top of where you put the ear. So either down lower or up higher, just to give balance and symmetry. When you're placing your neckline here, find your breastbone, and he doesn't have much of one. And it'll help you set it yourself anyway. But when you run your finger down here, you'll find the Adam's apple, and it will set. And when it settles in, it's going to be the way I was taught, roughly, and this is correct, 3 fingers on a toy. Usually it's 3 fingers on a mini, sometimes it can be 4, same on a standard. But when you run your finger down, and I mean by that I mean above the breastbone, because here's his breastbone. When I run my finger down his throat and I find the Adam's apple and it settles, right there is where the line would be. 3 fingers gives me breastbone. I know, buddy. Make sense? Now, your angulation is going to vary a little bit on each dog, but I want to see lay back a shoulder. On the rear end, I want to see a point of rump. Nice angulation coming down into a hawk. Your dog's going to have enough hair to do that, and it can only be hair on the legs, and I'm okay with that. But I want to see a crest. and I want to see those legs done. Even if it's a pet, you can still give me some semblance of that. I can do it on him. And in fact, I'm going to try to do a video and show you how I do it on him in a minute. But this is just what we're looking for. So this dog has roughly 1.5 inches of hair on his back, which is a lot for him. And probably about the same on his legs because he usually gets a kennel cut. I'm going to do him differently today just so I can show you how you can actually do a pet dog and certify. But that's what we're looking for. You want to make sure your lines are right, that you know how to set your lines, that the feet are nice and clean, that the lines are correct on the feet, that the angulation is correct, that the coat prep's right. I don't care if you have a certification on a pet dog, as long as the dog has enough coat, he keeps moving, to get me a basic outline of a poodle. And I'm poodle challenged, by the way. I can teach somebody how to do it. I have a hard time getting it to come out of my hands. I've always had that problem. And I still managed to certify with national and pass my practical with ISCC. So if I can do it, you can do it. I'm not great with poodles. Like I said, I can teach somebody how to do it. I have a hard time doing it myself. But we're going to see what happens. I have another video, which I'll also post a link to, with me grooming a puppy. That'll give you another good idea of how to get your angles set and all of that. Oh, one other thing that I keep getting questions about. I don't care if you use a blade on the back. I don't care if you use a snap-on comb. I don't care if you hand scissor. I don't want the legs to be used to have a blade on them. Snap-on comb to set length is fine if you need to skim or whatever. I don't care about that. I'm looking for a profile. So however you get from point A to point B, I don't care as long as you get to point B. By the way, this is a biting fool in a cage. He's one I could do a aggression video on because he's so bad coming out of a cage. You get him on the table and he's a different dog. Besides that, Buster likes me. Buster likes me. I don't know why. Oh, got kisses. I got kisses. That's amazing. So anyway, I'm going to stop this video now, get it uploaded, and I'm going to groom him on video. So you just get an idea of how you can use a pet dog, not the best quality, to certify on him. I'd still like to say that you need a little more hair, maybe another 1/2 inch just to get some nice legs going. But it's really not that complicated. No reason to make it incredibly hard, no reason to make it so nobody can find a dog. If you have to give a client 2 free grooms and a bath for your certification, if you got in on the ground floor with us on our new program and you have the free net lifetime certification, it's not going to help you, or not going to hurt you to do that. You're not going to lose any money. Give a couple of free baths in between some grooms and give them a free groom for your certification. You're not really out anything but some time that way. And in my case, I have bathers that can do the baths. I got that. But anyway, I'm going to pause this and I'm going to start the video on how to get him groomed and we'll go from there. Buster, you stay there for me. Hold tight.